Oh, come on. The day of the MOT as well. Oh, listen to the sound of that engine. Amazing. I'm going to have to close the visor though to talk to you. So we didn't break down in the petrol garage in the end. For a minute there it looked like we weren't going anywhere, but then she changed her mind and decided that yes, we were going out. But here we are, the day has finally arrived, the moment where Laren and I finally get to go out and ride together. Only as far as the MOT station though, but even still, I've looked forward to this day for so bloody long. Although I will say, I am a little nervous riding new bikes, and I'm not too proud to say it. When I think about the bikes that I've ridden in my time, I've had my 125 for 5 years, and I've ridden another two 125s on CBT. And then there was a couple of 600s of my mates that I rode around the car park, but the one that worried me the most, it was probably the MT-07 on my test. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was worried about dropping my mates' bikes, but then my mates, they would have forgiven me. I just didn't want to drop the MT-07 when I was training, or even worse, on test. So let's capture my first thoughts of this bike then. Bearing in mind this is absolutely 100% the first time I've ever ridden this bike, and other than having a BMW right up my arse, I'm really enjoying this. But my first thoughts, well, I've sat not on this bike a great deal. You know, I've swung my leg over and I've stood there and I've compared the size of my two bikes, and because they are comparable in size, physical size, they are quite comparable in size. But until the other day I'd never actually put my feet up on the pegs, and I noticed almost straight away that the foot pegs are really high, and that may be a problem going forward. I'm not sure. It's not as bad riding as I thought it might have been, but yeah, the foot peg position is really high. I compared to my other bike, and the foot pegs on this Daytona are about 2 inches higher than what I'm used to, so I was a little bit unsure of how I would react to that. But now that we're out riding, my legs are tucked in not quite nicely with the tank actually. But that leads me on to number two. My arse is sliding about in this seat so much that I'm forever sliding into the tank, which I don't know if that's by design, but I keep hitting my nuts on the tank. But then once I get comfortable, I feel like I'm actually quite snug on this bike. You know, like I can't slide forward any further. My legs are hugging the tank. Ow. Yeah, my legs are hugging the tank. But I'm a lot further forward than I'm used to. In a recent video I was talking about the angle of my Gopro, and I might have to get it a little bit different on this bike, because this is normal riding here, and I'd love to see what it looks like in edit. But I suspect that the camera needs to be a little bit further down. I'm not sure. We'll have a look when we get home. So yeah, foot pegs are quite high. I'm sliding around in this seat. And the throttle is so bloody sensitive. Yeah. Even the free play in the throttle actually does something. It's not actually free play. It feels like free play, but it's not. It's like you've only got to breathe on this throttle. And with me sliding about in the seat, I kind of feel like if I accelerate too quickly, the bike's going to leave me behind. The bike's going to go, and I'm not. I'm going to go. My arse is going to go sliding off the back of the bike. She just wants to go. That's going to be my number 4. Point number 4. She just wants to go. Let's bring this back down a little. Let's not go losing that license before we've used it. Be interesting to see how the exhaust sounds on camera as well, because I was worried that the exhaust was going to be too loud for me. I'm not one for a loud exhaust, I must admit. You know, I'm quite a relaxed rider, and although this exhaust is quite loud, actually on the bike seems fine actually. Bugger. Fancy bringing a spare lane out of the right hand side. You normally get your extra lanes coming out of the left. Yeah, she just wants to go, and the biting point is immediate. So it's been a long road, let's be honest. It's been a long road getting to this point, with all the problems I had with the steering stop and the air intake. Yeah, it's been a long road just getting this far. And only 2 hours ago, I'm giving the bike I was going to say its final check over, but I gave the bike its final check over yesterday. We were still working on the bike yesterday, mostly cleaning her. You know, she hasn't been used for a while. She's been sat in the garage gathering dust. She's got my oily fingerprints all over her. Well, she did have yesterday. So yesterday we spent a while cleaning the bike up, making sure everything was fine, and I just had this niggling feeling this afternoon at lunchtime that I ought to go and just check everything again. You know, I've already checked all the lights, etc, 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 and an almost irrational belief that I had to go and check the bike again. And it's a good job that I did, because we had a last minute problem with her brake light switch. The brake light switch on the rear, on the right hand foot peg there, needed some cleaning and greasing because it was sticking. But I'm sure I've sorted it, or at least I'll find out in about an hour. After her MOT. Right, I think this stretch that I'm on isn't, yeah, it's a one way. And then round here somewhere, not actually sure where I'm supposed to leave the bike. And just like that, 1 hour and 1 KFC later, and we're heading home with a full MOT. She got a straight pass, which I'm left only, okay. Yes, she got a straight pass, which I am both surprised and not surprised with. So I'm always surprised when a vehicle that I've not taken for an MOT gets a straight pass, because really until the first time you take a new vehicle for an MOT, you don't really know. That's alright, I'll wait for you. Yes, until you take a vehicle that's new to you, until you take it in for an MOT, you never really know what the score is with it. So in a way I am surprised, but then when I bought this bike, she'd failed her MOT on one thing, and we fixed that one thing. So I'm not surprised. There was 2 advisories, something about a noisy exhaust, which definitely doesn't surprise me. Even said it on the way over. She has a noisy exhaust, and the drive chain is slightly loose. So we'll get the chain tightened up. I'm 50-50 on the exhaust. As I said, I'm not a loud exhaust person. I have contemplated putting a standard one back on, but this is a lovely sounding exhaust. I'm not about to ditch it straight away. I think I'll ride the bike for a little bit first and then make a decision on the exhaust.